Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another market breakdown. So in this video right now, I'm going to break down the exact trade that I took to pass my $200,000 Alpha Capital Group phase one on a $200,000 account. Right, if I just show you guys the account right here, as you can see, this is the account. In fact, let me pull up the MT5 so you guys can see it clearly. Okay, as you can see right here, but just focus it. You can see this right here, it's a real account, history tab, and you can see the trades that I took right there. The extra trades that I took were just because I was short like around $200 on the account from the profit target, so I just scalped to get that back. But as you can see right there, $216,000 for this account. Right, now going back to the trade right here, I'm going to try and keep it quick and short and simple. And yeah, overall now gold has hit all-time highs, right? So a lot of you might be thinking, what do we do now? There's no data to the left. Guys, we've been here more than once, okay? And a lot of you guys might be asking, how are you passing challenges every single time with one or two trade ideas? Guys, I've been doing this now for the last 4, 5, 6 months because I know my trading edge. I know I say it in almost every single video, but I can't emphasize it enough. When you know what works for you, it's almost, I'm never going to try and say guaranteed or speak in certainties, but the probability of you executing and actually hitting the goal that you want to achieve is a lot higher, right? But how do you attain that ability? You literally have to have the discipline to understand when to execute and not execute 24/7. Like, I could have bought the challenge this whole week. I specifically chose today to go ahead and buy the challenge. Why? Because I knew there was volume in the market, and I'm going to go ahead very shortly right now and break this trade down for you. Now, just before I do get into that trade breakdown, let me show you guys some of the results from our Funded Fast EA members who have been absolutely milking the markets. A lot of you guys may have blown your accounts since gold has hit all-time highs, but our clients are absolutely smashing it. And remember, this is not an exaggeration, and I want to keep it short and simple to the point. This is something that can make a consistent passive income. Clients have been passing their challenges. As you can see, the results on the screen, they just speak for themselves, right? On the Funded Fast EA Robot Group, we've been literally showing you guys transparent results every single day. It's taken us like a year and a half to develop this, and literally the results have been speaking for themselves, right? And there's nothing more transparent. There's no way we can be a little bit more transparent than what we've currently been, right? Forwarding the messages, showing you screenshots, showing you the certificates with the metrics tab, with the metrics website from FTMO directly, fully verifiable results. We've built something here that's going to revolutionize this whole trading industry. And you might be thinking this is an exaggeration, but it really isn't, right? People have been literally passing the FTMO challenges. I'm going to show you some pictures right here, strictly from the Funded Fast EA Robot. As you guys can see right here, another client literally passed this challenge made 10% in 10 trading days just by using the robot, right? A lot of you guys need to understand that when you have an abundance of capital and you understand, you have that income in the background, you can actually focus on your trading so much better, and you can execute trades with a lot more clarity in mind, right? And that's exactly why we've designed this. And as you can see from the date right there, August 16th, these are just the results from our clients from that day only, right? Not including the start of this week. The results just go on and on and on. And don't forget, you can use it on your FTMO accounts, your prop firm, your funded stage accounts, your personal accounts. One of our clients, even if I just show you guys right here, literally flipped his $500 account to $1,000 and got a $280 withdrawal, right? Again, it's the best thing in the industry right now. 3 or 5 early access seats will be available tonight, so go ahead and join the group, send a message to the admin and let us know why you should be selected, and make sure you are ready to get onboarded. It's a very simple setup, and remember, the main thing is you get access to a community full of other individuals in there who are like-minded and are also helping you out along the way. You get access to the developer settings every single day, which has had a win streak since November 2023, and we're in the background right now creating a MyFX book to eventually take on investor capital as well. Just remember, guys, diversify from this game. Trading Forex is amazing, and there's so many other avenues within it that can help elevate you to another level, right? And automation and AI is just that. So enough with that now. I hope you guys take advantage of what we have available there. Let's get straight into this market breakdown right now. So why did I go ahead and take this trade? And typically, guys, I'll be honest, when I see an opportunity like this, I prefer to usually sell at areas like this. Now, a lot of you traders might be thinking, when it came to this structure today, there was a clear, you could say, trend line liquidity here, okay? And then you could say, this is why I don't agree with just full-on SMC and ICT concepts strictly, right? You may have highlighted this is an order block, right? As you can see, I don't see why this isn't a valid order block. Maybe I'm not so much of a create ICT student or SMC student. At the end of the day, all I see here is a bullish candle, a strong impulsive candle to the downside with FEG below it, and then some liquidity here, and then the market pushing up into there, having a short reaction, and then taking out everyone's stop losses that were maybe shorting from here. I know a lot of people that were trying to short from here and were asking me why didn't it work out. It's a very simple answer, and that's because the trend was super bullish, right? You're looking at a smaller time frame. How do I explain it? A shorter time frame structure point, and a smaller time frame bit of piece of structure overall, really. Because if we go over to the 1 hour time frame, what do we see? We have to always look back, right? Look to the left, and that will give you all the clues you literally need, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Just simply look left and try and attach what you're currently seeing right now and find that same sort of price action anywhere to the left and see what happened. Build a storyline around it and then apply it to the current settings. So if we look at the market right over here, in one of the lectures previously that I did to you guys, if you remember, I was talking about the power of 3, right? You have every time before a big move to a certain direction, you will always you will always have a manipulation to the opposite side, and then the actual move going in this direction. So this is a buildup of liquidity right here, a buildup of consolidation. A lot of traders are thinking that, okay, because we've been moving super strong to the upside, we can now go ahead and just buy anywhere here, and it will just continue. Little did you know that the market actually swept these highs not once, but twice with this final wick right here. Again, with timing involved as well. You had red folder news. Red folder news, guys, I've said it once before and I'll say it again, is not a coincidence when it aligns with these concepts, okay? There's a reason for it, and it works 99% of the time from what I've seen, okay? As you can see, a clear manipulation of this previous high, no closure above it, indicating that the market was ready to sweep that high and then push impulsively in the opposite direction, and that's exactly what it did. So once we created this clear power of 3, accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution to the downside, what was next that you needed to do? You needed to find the next lower high, and the easiest way to do that was to first of all pull out the Fibonacci tool from this point to this point here. As you can see, your next region of interest would have been anywhere within this area here, okay? And if you look to the left, you could have then looked for a clear vantage point right here, which is a clear understanding that, okay, this is a previous area of potential liquidity. And as you can see, the market retraced literally around to that area right there. And if you go to the 15-minute time frame, you can then look for your entry signals from this point onwards. A clear 15-minute rejection from that area right there at the resistance, and of course then the news came out to push it in its favor. Now, what happened next is where a lot of you traders might be thinking is the reason why you took potential sells at this area here, just because of this one impulsive leg to the downside. Yes, this leg is impulsive as opposed to, let's have a look. This impulsive leg is impulsive as opposed to this corrective leg right here, okay? But does that mean anything? It means something, okay? It means that the sellers were in control for this duration here. But then when it got to this region here, you have to reevaluate that answer right now. Are sellers still in control? Just by looking at the 15-minute time frame, you can see a super long wick rejection here, a super massive 15-minute engulfing, and then a retracement straight from that area back down to here, and then a continuation to the upside. Now, if we go ahead and use multiple time frame analysis, you can then see on the 1 hour time frame, we did not in fact get a closure below this low, right? Just understand that. Just let that sink in. Don't just jump too far ahead. Just think about this right now. Right, let me change this color so we can see it clearly. We did not get a closure below this low right here, okay? We got the wick rejection, a bounce off the moving average, and then a move to the opposite direction. Now this for me does not qualify on the higher time frame standpoint for it to be sells or shorts when the market retraces, right? The clue was right there all along. The market simply did what it did here. As you can see, if you just mirror this high got swept and then the market dumped, okay? This low got swept and then the market flew. Literally the opposite end and of the spectrum right there, it literally happened in front of our eyes. And yes, the market retraced in a corrective manner, but it's irrelevant. The market here after this lower high did not break this previous low with a clear level of intent with strong momentum at all. It's as simple as that. So based on this piece of structure and based off this bit of data, we could then go forward onto the 15-minute time frame and start to evaluate and accurately find our just entry points. Really, it's not as hard as that anymore. The only other thing you may be thinking is, okay, the market's last low was here, it's made a push to the upside. Now that we know our bias is still bullish right now, and this is just a fake out right here, a fake zone for people to go ahead and trade off, some of you may be thinking, okay, this is the market's done this right now, it's made equal lows here, and it needs to take them out and then go to the upside. Yes, that's a good, fair, understanding. But then once the market actually broke above these highs over here, that's when I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to take the chance right now and look for a simple break and retest play of the previous highs and go ahead and take a long from this point onwards, right? Because the intent was clear. Although we didn't actually sweep liquidity here, we actually did the liquidity grab mainly from here, and this is what fueled the move to the upside overall, right? This is what's faked out a lot of traders. And over here, you can argue that, yes, we have got a pool of liquidity there, but the main point is this push to the upside was what just happened to make the market go higher. When I said before, when the market is trending very strong, it tends to do shallow retracements, and you just need to be in that position to go ahead and catch them. To be completely honest, I don't really like to trade in these conditions too much, but it's been very hard to find gold in a position where it's ranging so much for me to go ahead and take full advantage of, although that's my ideal conditions. I understood that, okay, based off my previous analysis and my breakdowns in the past, I've consistently said to you guys, when the market is trending, it tends to do shallow retracements. So there it is. Now we go to the 5 minute, this is where the magic actually goes and happens. If we go ahead and look at this, you can see a clear break and retest of our zone right here. So if I just highlight this for you, you can see the push to the upside, a break, a retracement straight into our level of resistance. And yes, it would have been ideal to get a lower pullback, but again, like I said, with the shallow retracements, it's not something you can always get. So from here, you can see this rejection on the 5 minute, and then you see another rejection on a 5 minute engulfing. That 5 minute engulfing is literally where I went ahead and entered, put my stop loss safely below this range low, because I thought, okay, there's a chance that the market could come back to here, potentially sweep this low, and then continue back to the upside, right? Once this consolidation continued, I noticed that the next 4 hour candle opened, and as you can see from there, the market started to rally to the upside. Once it made this push to the upside here, and then started to pull back around here, that's when I believe I went ahead and made my second entry based off a break and retest play. So somewhere as this market broke to the upside, I think it was around here, it's a bit of a late entry again, I went ahead and entered like this, and initially I did have my stop loss set to here, right, which wasn't the best risk to reward, but again, it's just part of the whole trade idea. And again, once the market started to push to the upside, breaking, if you just have a look right here, once we broke these highs over here, that's when I went ahead, let me just fix that. Once we broke these highs here, making a 1, 2, 3 leg extension, I then went ahead and moved my stop loss to the entry of the first position, right? So at least the first entry, which was in good profits, would have been break even, and I would have made a small loss on this trade if it was to hit my stop loss. From this point onwards, I then went ahead and highlighted the all-time highs, which was at 24.75, and as you can see from there, that's where the market went ahead and smashed into and went ahead and simply hit take profit. And again, that comes from understanding the higher time frame momentum, and also understanding that the market had now broken above this this lower high, right? We can see that from this over here. So lower low, lower high, equal low, higher low, higher high now, okay? Because once the market had broken above this, there was no reason for the market at that point to then just start dumping. It just did not make any sense to me, right? It wouldn't have been a double top of any sort. It wouldn't have been a break of structure to the downside. It literally couldn't have been any of those things, right? You see a rejection here. If the market had done something like this and then come up to here, then yeah, you could have looked for another potential move there to go short, like you did, like it happened right here. Beautiful example right there. And as you can see, the market kind of played that out perfectly here. In this scenario, the market broke to the downside, making a lower low compared to these levels of structure here. Let me use a highlighter instead. So we had that manipulation. We had the break of these levels of structure here, impulsive move to the downside, lower high, no lower low, an equal low specifically here, okay? And then the market simply went ahead and rallied back to the upside, which was bound to happen. If you guys looked at the higher time frame on the 8 hour or the daily, for example, you could see with the closures of this current candle for yesterday, you would have seen that the market is clearly rejection of these areas here, filled this little bit of imbalance, and now we're just ready to take off. And now we've literally started to skyrocket into all-time highs, and that very simply was the clean trade that took me to passing my ACG challenge in one single trade. Overall, the risk on this position was around 3.5%, and I took profits literally a little bit above here, I believe. I think it was a bit less than 3.5%. I think it was altogether 3% risk. Altogether, a lot of you might be thinking it was like 4 or 5% risk. No, it wasn't. As you can see, I managed my risk accordingly, scaled in, covered my stop losses, managed my risk right there, and then once I started to break up with these highs, I was pretty much understanding at that point that we were ready to take off to all-time highs. But yeah, guys, I hope that pretty much sums up everything. If you guys have any more questions, do make sure to drop a question on my Instagram or in the Telegram bot, which will be in the description to this video right now. And remember, for those of you who are interested in getting your funding challenges passed in a passive, conservative manner, literally in the background while you maybe study these concepts, or while you go about your trading day, or just maybe your work life, whatever is in the background, if you're finding it too difficult right now, the Funded Fast EA group is the area where you need to be, right? It's the place you need to be. Tons and tons of results for changing lives, and it's not an exaggeration. It's real things that we've designed here, built over the last 2.5 years, a year and a half to 2 years, and it's just paying off, right? Left, right, and center. So go ahead, join the group down below, message me, and for those of you who are willing to join my course, my academy, which prices will be definitely rising for very, very soon, because I will start to do live trading in there. Make sure you go ahead and sign up for the course down below. You'll get access to the full course video format, the ongoing support, the Discord private community, and also in the future when I start it, live trading 2 or 3 times a week, right? Go ahead, guys, take action, and remember, in this game, especially with prop firms, you need to just be courageous. This is a way, the market is right now set up in a position where if you just put in a little bit of risk, you could be presented with a lot of reward. Remember, the one thing that I learned off my mentor Raul, one thing that he said was, the risk needs to always be predetermined. Why? Because the reward is unpredictable, right? One of the best things I've ever heard in this game, and that's what is the beauty of Forex overall, right? The risk is predetermined, but the reward is unpredictable. And that podcast with my mentor Raul will be dropping hopefully next week, right? So make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube and turn on notifications for this channel. You do not want to miss that. I've dropped some gems in there, and I've not done a podcast like that in a very, very long time, right? Best podcast I've probably done to date, so make sure you guys stay tuned. But with that being said, it's been a great one, guys. If you have any more questions, any more pairs you want me to break down, do let me know, and I will see you guys very shortly. Peace.